sound of the icy wind echoes in the ears. The sky is silent in the cold, and the thermometer reads -50 degrees Celsius. There are no houses around to shelter from the cold, only a place that looks like a vast white desert. The human body can never withstand such brutal cold for long periods of time, but there is one society that has managed to survive in this frozen wilderness: the Inuit. Inuit people have been living in this cold for thousands of years, but how? The answer to this question is hidden in a shelter built with the purest materials nature has to offer. A shelter made of snow and ice, the igloo. But it is not just a shelter. The igloo is a meeting of science and nature, and one of the most intelligent responses of human intelligence to harsh climates. From the outside, it may just look like a big snowdrift, but inside, it is a whole new world for the Inuit people. How is it that these strange structures, which can be built in just a few hours using only primitive tools, can withstand the harshest storms and winds without collapsing? In this video, we will see step by step how an igloo is built from start to finish and what secrets it holds. In order to live in an igloo, it must be strong and warm, and the most important thing is to choose the right kind of snow. Inuit craftsmen know very well that only a certain type of snow is suitable for building an igloo. Because if the wrong snow is used at any stage of construction, the igloo will quickly collapse or not stay warm enough inside. So the first and most important step before building an igloo is to find the right snow. So what kind of snow is suitable for building an igloo? Most people think of snow as having a homogeneous structure, but each type of snow has a different density and durability. For example, freshly fallen, loose snow is not suitable for building an igloo because it is not yet compacted and hardened enough. Snow that has become a sheet of ice is very hard and not suitable for igloo construction because it cannot be cut into blocks and placed neatly. The ideal snow for igloo construction is a special type of snow called sintered snow, which has been compressed by wind and pressure, hardened, and still retains its crystalline structure. For centuries, Inuit craftsmen have used a method called the stick test to find this special type of snow. In this method, Inuit craftsmen take a long, thin stick and stick it into the snow. They feel the density of the snow. If the stick penetrates too easily, the snow is too soft and cannot be used for igloo construction. If the stick does not penetrate at all, the snow is too hard and cannot be used to build an igloo because it cannot be shaped. The ideal snow is not too hard. Snow that the stick can penetrate with some resistance. Experienced Inuit craftsmen sometimes test 40 different spots to find the right snow. Sometimes this process can take a long time, but choosing the right snow is crucial to the stability of the igloo. Once the right snow has been selected, the tools needed to build the igloo are prepared. Inuit craftsmen traditionally use primitive tools. One of the most important tools used is a wide and long knife called a panna. This knife, called a panna, is usually made of whalebone or ivory. It is mostly used to cut snow blocks smoothly, but sometimes it can also be used to precisely shape the walls of the igloo. In today's modernized world, some Inuit craftsmen also use modern tools such as the carpenter's saw, but none of them work with the precision of the primitive tools traditionally used. A snow shovel is also an important piece of equipment for building an igloo. The snow shovel is used to clear the area where the igloo is to be built and to shovel the blocks, as well as to shovel the snow needed to fill the space between the blocks after they have been joined together. Another tool used is the measuring stick. A measuring stick is used to cut the snow blocks evenly during igloo construction, but in general, Inuit craftsmen use their own arms as a measuring tool, cutting each block by eye. Once the materials are prepared, the next step is to choose the right ground on which to build the igloo. The igloo cannot be built on random ground because the stability of the igloo is directly related to the suitability of the ground. If the ground is too soft, the snow blocks can sink in and cause the structure to collapse. For these reasons, the ground must be compacted and covered with a hard layer of snow. Igloos are generally built in a circle. To create this circle, Inuit craftsmen tie a rope to a small stick, center the stick, and use the rope to form a circle, which serves as a guide during construction. After choosing the right snow and ground and preparing the materials to be used during construction, the construction phase begins. The first step starts with cutting the foundation block. This stage requires great care and precision, because if the first block is cut or placed incorrectly, the whole igloo is doomed to collapse or deteriorate. The first block cut with the panna is placed in place at an angle of 15 degrees inclined inwards. The reason for using an inclined angle is to ensure that the blocks are arranged in a spiral as they are placed upwards and form a dome. Once the first block is in place, the rest of the blocks are cut evenly and laid out in a spiral. Each block is cut with an inside slant so that it adheres to the block below. Inuit craftsmen lightly shave the top of each block and ensure that all the blocks fit together like a puzzle. This method allows the structure to distribute the pressure evenly within itself, and the igloo is strengthened by its own weight. As construction continues, the walls lean inward as the blocks overlap, and the igloo begins to take the shape of a dome. However, as the blocks are joined together, gaps may remain, and these gaps need to be closed to prevent air from entering and to obtain a more robust structure. To do this, loose snow collected with a snow shovel is compacted into the gaps between the blocks. This makes the igloo more resistant to wind. When these steps are completed, the basic structure of the igloo is revealed. But one of the most important steps is still missing, because the last block is still not in place. This last block of the igloo, called a keystone, this block ensures that the structure is completely closed, allowing the igloo to remain balanced under its own weight. When this block is cut, it is usually cut in a slightly tapered shape, so that when it is put in place, it presses downwards with weight, holding all the blocks tightly together. This technique makes the igloo a great structure that supports its own weight. If a keystone block is cut or placed incorrectly, the whole structure can collapse. That's why Inuit craftsmen work with great precision to cut the keystone block to the perfect size and fit it into place. The igloo is now a self-supporting closed dome with perfect principles. But a small detail must be added to the igloo to ensure that the airflow is balanced. A small hole is drilled at the top of the igloo to ensure airflow, called a ventilation hole. This hole allows the moisture and carbon dioxide inside to escape. If this hole is not opened, the moisture that accumulates inside may cause the ceiling to form water droplets over time, and the quality of the air inside may decrease. This detail, however small it may seem, is vital for creating a long-lasting habitable environment inside the igloo. Although this is the entire construction process of the igloo, it is not enough to make it a fully habitable shelter. Keeping the interior of the igloo warm is an important detail to protect from the freezing cold outside, which can drop to 50 degrees Celsius. One of the most important features to keep the interior of the igloo warm is the cold air trap. The entrance to the igloo is always built at a lower level than the main living area, because the cold air stays down because it is heavier, while the warm air rises up and the main living area, which is higher up, stays warmer than the entrance. Another critical element affecting the temperature of the interior is the small oil lamps, called kolik, which the Inuit people have used for centuries to create a source of light and heat inside, fueled by seal blubber. All these elements combine to ensure that the inside of the igloo remains warm, despite the freezing temperatures outside. To learn more about how the inside of an igloo stays warm, check out our other video on the cards. For centuries, the igloo has provided the Inuit people with a safe place to live, even in the most extreme weather conditions. However, regular maintenance and repair is necessary for this structure to last for a long time. Inuit craftsmen use specific techniques to strengthen their igloos over time and make them more resistant to external factors. The gaps between the blocks of the igloo can open up over time due to weather conditions, and these gaps need to be checked regularly and filled with loose snow. The exterior of the igloo can crack over time due to wind and temperature changes, so these small damages need to be quickly sealed and repaired. Inuit craftsmen strengthen the igloo by gently adding new snow to its surface with a snow shovel. As the temperature inside rises over time, a thin layer of ice forms on the interior walls of the igloo. This actually strengthens the igloo naturally, But if too much moisture builds up, the structure of the igloo can weaken, so the vent must be kept open, and the excess moisture must be allowed to escape. If ventilation is insufficient, the ice layer that forms on the interior surface can become heavy and damage the igloo. Another important maintenance method is regular shaping of the doorway and floor. This is very important for the cold air trap to continue to function. An igloo that is not maintained and repaired cannot be used for more than a few days, so Inuit people maintain and repair their igloos with the right techniques and can use their igloos for weeks or even months. The igloo is also seen as a symbol of Inuit culture. So, is igloo building still in active use today, and how is this tradition still being carried on in the modern world? Let us now examine the place of the igloo today and its importance in the modern world. Today, igloos play a major role in tourism and cultural heritage preservation in the Arctic. For visitors to the Arctic, the igloo is one of the most important ways to discover the Inuit way of life. There are also igloo concept hotels and ice structures in some regions to accommodate tourists, but none of these structures can ever compare to the functionality and durability of the original Inuit igloos. The igloo is a testament to living in harmony with nature and how humans can survive even in the harshest of conditions. It has survived for thousands of years and continues to attract the interest of scientists, architects, and historians. Throughout this video, we explore how an igloo is built, what principles it is based on, and why it is such an impressive structure. With the right choice of materials, engineering details, and cultural heritage, the igloo is not just a relic of the past, but living proof of how man can adapt to nature. If you found this content interesting, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our video, and check out our other videos. See you on the next expedition.